Now, in that Oval Office meeting, President Trump also spoke about a potential government bailout for struggling Spirit Airlines. The president said his administration is considering a plan to buy the company, which is facing bankruptcy and liquidation.
They have some good aircraft, some good assets, and when the price of oil goes down, we'll sell it for a profit. I'd love to be able to save those jobs. I'd love to be able to save an airline.
All right, so Chris Van Cleve covers the airline industry for us. Chris, the U.S. government has bailed out airlines in the past, chiefly in 9/11 or after 9/11, but never outright purchased one. What would it look like in reality to have the federal government actually buy an airline?
Well, Matt, this is unprecedented. While the government has bailed out the airline industry, the government has not bailed out a singular airline in any circumstance we can find. Remember, Pan Am, which was the de facto flag carrier of the United States for decades, was allowed to go out of business. TWA was allowed to go out of business. Eastern was allowed to go out of business. The government didn't step in when much bigger carriers faced bankruptcy and liquidation. We do know that Spirit's own bankruptcy lawyers said the airline is running out of money, and that could come as soon as next week. So the clock is ticking here. We also know the president is a fan of airlines, and there are a lot of jobs, about 17,000 direct or indirect tied to Spirit, that hang in the balance here. What would it look like? Well, it most likely would be an airline that would operate as an airline, and the government would take seats on the board. It's probably unlikely that you would see an equivalent of like the DMV running Spirit Airlines, but this is uncharted territory.
I definitely think we do not want the DMV running Spirit Airlines. Okay, so President Trump is saying that Spirit could be sold in the future for a profit. Is there a sense here that the president has someone particular in mind? And what are the odds here that taxpayers could foot the bill?
Well, taxpayers are going to spend $500 million or so, based on our reporting, if this deal were to go through. So taxpayers will be on the hook. Spirit hasn't made a profit since 2019. They're on pace by their own projection to lose about $200 million this year. Their move to profitability hinges on jet fuel being below $3 a gallon. Most airlines are not planning for that right now. So some questions about their long-term future and how long it might be before they're profitable. The president did hint that he might have someone in mind to run it. That is likely the leadership team already in place. They're relatively new there and respected, but a lot of questions here, Matt, that just don't have clear answers.
All right, Chris, thank you so much.